Walachi bi ag etadlini. Walachi neschi mosse tze.
Stories after stories we've been told from the time you're 3 years old all the way up to you're 30 years old. And the stories get longer, get more complicated. As kids, mostly coyote stories. Every time you're told a story, like 5 years old, whatever story you're told, you have to repeat it. And at night, you're all laying there, and okay, you tell the story. The way it was told to you, it's got to be exactly the way they told you. The same words that was used and the manner in which it was used. So that you're graduating in a way. Once you tell it just the way it was always told, then you graduate from that story to go to the next story. And as you get older, the stories get longer. And eventually you get into prayers, the prayers that you hear medicine men repeat. And they're very long, and they're orderly arranged. Same with the songs, sacred songs. So that's the early education. A lot of memory, and you got to, because Navajo is not a written language, so you can't write it down, you can't read. And America was looking for a code that the enemy in the Pacific would not understand, cannot break. So they came upon the Navajo language, and Navajo language was then used to create a code that only 400 of us would know and understand. And if a Navajo is captured from here or listening, would not even know what we're talking about. That's how the code was structured. Looking back as to why was the code so successful. The reason was one of the reasons it was so successful is that it was all verbal, number one, subject to memory only. We didn't have a notebook, anything like that. And all the code names and code words were locked up under lock and key because it's a top secret. Just the 400 of us know what the code words were. And the reason it worked so well, even though the code words were up in 600 code words that we all have to remember. And you have to remember it instantly as somebody's start repeating it over the air to write it down. The pe na achipi that is Thai, de na sonse, transit lochin, sita tsa, tra has tra na ki shash. Here's what he said in Navajo. The pe na achipi means sheep, eyes, nose, deer. That is Thai, destroyers. De na sonse, tea, mouse, taji lochin, turkey, onion, lidatsa, sick horse, tra has tra na ki shash, 3, 6, 2, bear. Does that sound like asking for help? So even the Navajo out here listening could not understand except this guy's talking about sheep, eyes, nose, deer, sick horse, turkey, onion, all of that stuff. But the code talker down at the command post by the beach to whom the message was sent writes down immediately as he hears this, send demolition team to Hill 362B. Immediately, flamethrower tanks and demolition crew went out to save this company of Marines that were pinned down.
Walachi be agatetadlini. Walachi neschi mosse tze. Hey ane ayanga tanga showy tanga showy tanga showy tanga showy na ya le got the tanga showy tanga showy na ya le got the tanga showy tanga showy tanga showy